opportunities for startups. So there is 10 minutes, and I think the Q&A part is the more interesting part, where you would get your questions answered, and we are 4 minutes into the session. So I'll get started with my presentation and keep it brief. The idea is to give an overview of who we are, and what we do, which can help you yourself think through what may be the kind of projects and ideas we may be supporting. And I can also answer specific questions that are pertinent for you. So I'll just give an overview of ShelterTech, which is a program under the Terwilliger Center, which is a subsidiary of Habitat for Humanity. So you have to bear with me as I walk through these layers of the organization, because each adds a layer of support, which would be of value to startups, because it's for a startup to succeed in a layer like housing, particularly low income housing, it's usually money and more, right? It's not just money alone may not solve the issues. There needs to be a lot more domain understanding and a lot of connections with the right people and all of that, and that's what the Habitat family brings for you. As you see, we are very, very focused on the low-income housing market, and we work globally on this. And our philosophy is that a home is a way for people to get security, and through that, access to education, better health, and all of that, livelihood and all that, with home being the enabler. And hence we feel having a decent, affordable shelter, and it's called shelter, right? Because it's not even a home as we may visualize, some place that people can be safe from the elements, is a thing that many people miss, and giving that enables them to come up in life. So that's the underlying philosophy with which we work. And the other philosophy is that a home is not a product that you go and buy, which is the mode of thinking we may all be in the urban setting be a bit more used to, right? Like, you pay a builder and get a home. But a home is usually a process that people build small and add and change. And, it's a process where it sort of changes with them. And hence our belief is in solutions that tend to cater to that segment as well, because that's a large segment of the population. So these are the three houses, as we call it, in how we work. One is creating the community impact, and the other, on the other hand, is working with policy and creating the society impact. But the focus of the ShelterTech program is more in the sector impact, where we look for solutions that are market-based, that people can pay for and buy, and changes the dynamics in the market so that there are more products available, better products available, products are more accessible to the low-income households, and that's the impact we are working on. And we...
Meera, could you please put it on a slideshow mode?
Oh,
yeah.
It is on slideshow mode for me. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we work with a lot of partners who are also our donors. Hilti, Dove and Autodesk and IKEA. These are big names in the construction industry, and we work with their CSR team for raising funds, and we also work with their corporate teams who also act as mentors and help the startups in many ways. So that is the ecosystem from the corporate side. Habitat for Humanity is a large organization that has been working in 70 countries. And we also have a microfinance program called the Micro Build Fund, which is a $100 million fund, but the money has been rotated and 100 million has been dispersed. And actually the latest number is nearly 1 million people have been reached in 32 countries. So, we have a very clear understanding of the low income housing market through these various efforts. And I'll probably skip through this. Basically, the examples of how we work is if we take roofing as a problem area, we look at how do we improve reach of better roofing solutions, and how do we extend the life of a roof, maybe by using better waterproofing products and other things. How do we improve the quality of the roof? Maybe people did not use skilled labor and it was not done right. And then everything may be right, people just may not have the money, and how do we provide access to finance along with some technical support so that the roof gets installed and people have a better roof. And in India, these are the areas we work in, which is broadly the areas of materials and services, which includes labor and others, and digitization and others, and finance. So these are sort of the three pillars in which we work. And we work with for-profit large corporates. We also work with startups in bringing these solutions in these areas to the low-income housing market. And why did we start working with the startups? I don't want to repeat myself. Housing is a large problem globally, and rather than rely on large firms who may not find immediate value in serving the low-income markets, we feel entrepreneurs may be able to just bring a very different thought process and solve some of these problems for the entrepreneurs. So the idea was to support entrepreneurs who can scale up their innovations with the end goal that low-income households have improved products, services, and financing. And our idea is to put Shelter Tech, which we call low-income housing property technology solutions, as one of the top 5 impact investments category in the next 5 years, if we could do that. And there are various ways in which we work in this. Accelerators is one. We have run accelerators in multiple countries. And then the focus area here is the catalytic funds, which is the bottom one. We provide funds to startup so that they can pilot some ideas, test out some things, and then are able to, take their business forward. And the other one also of interest is the Shelter Venture Fund, which I will sort of get into later. But these are other ways with which we engage with the ecosystem, particularly the innovation ecosystem. And our reach has been in 100 countries through all of these, so that someone's looking for solutions, not just in India, but outside also, we have enough reach and connects for these solutions. This is the sectors that we focus on. One is on the material side, labor, which includes improving the quality of labor or labor platforms. Finance, of course, be it housing finance or other solutions, which could be like rent to own or other models in enabling housing for people. It could also be like, co-living and other solutions, right, where some finance aspect is involved. Land, because titles are an issue, and anything in the market size which improves the efficiency of the supply chain, which could be like e-commerce or other solutions, and renovation and other markets also. Allied to this is water and sanitation and energy, and also we have included access to internet and others, because having digital access is also important in these COVID times. I won't get into this. This is our view of why we think this is important and how housing enterprises can lead to better livelihoods for people. And we have supported 87 startups, and we have given catalytic funds to 31 startups, and this is all in the last 2 to 3 years. So there's not like a 50-year history I'm talking about. And in India, we have a very vibrant program as well. So we had the Shelter Tech program run in India in 2018 with CIIE, the IIM Ahmedabad group, and we have also made investments in Eco STP, that was part of the cohorts, and ModRoof, independently through the fund. And we have supported many of these startups in this list through the catalytic fund, and that's all I had there. And for the catalytic fund and even for the Shelter Venture Fund, what we look for is startups who have developed a solution that is applicable to the low income housing market in these sectors that I mentioned. and the product is, it's a for-profit company, right? We don't work with not-for-profit company. We look for somewhat early stage, as in there is at least a prototype that is available. It's not like I have an idea, you know, we don't do incubation really. We do work with startups that are that early, but not through the catalytic grant program. We may take them into an accelerator if that helps them, that sort of thing, but not for the catalytic grant, because the idea of the catalytic grant is there is some prototype and then people want some funds to take it to the next stage, which could be a pilot, it could be a, you know, validation of some business model, it could be some certification or other things. So that's typically the sort of uses of the catalytic grants that we have seen in the startups. So I will stop my share and open the floor for questions. I did take 5 more minutes then, I promised. Any questions, anyone? Other questions here? Okay, do your firm have experience in modular ones? Yes, this is the question from Balakrishna Panikar. Yes, we have in our cohort worked with startups in the modular housing space. The question still is, how does it apply to a low-income housing, right? Because we have seen this solutions in, particularly the question you're asking is the container converted houses used more in the middle income or for, you know, other segments. If we see a pathway to its acceptability in the low income housing markets, we definitely would look at it. And outside of India, yes, we have definitely worked with the container converted houses. I hope that answered that. Nilesh has his hand raised. You want to go ahead and ask? Nilesh?
Yes, you can ask your question. Nilesh, I think you're on mute.
I'm just asking to unmute. Okay. We also have Animesh. Would you like to tell us a little more about your venture? What exactly?
Yes, madam. This is Animesh Naya. I am representing a microfinance institution based in Kolkata. We are doing microfinance along with rural house repairing and renovation and solar energy with the support of banks, development finance institution, NABARD, FWB, and some other financial institution. We have started the rural house repairing and renovation program with the support of NABARD in 2015 in West Bengal and Bihar, and that project was very successful as per the report of NABARD, and they have published our story to their coffee table book in 2019. But as it is a MFI registered under Society Act, we have a less capacity to raise fund and to serve the poor customer borrowers, those who need the those who need the fund to repair, renovate their rural mud house or the cottage, and they to repair, to upgrade their sanitation system, or to connect their the water with their toilet. So my humble request to Meera ma'am, if you can manage some funds to DCBS to continue our project, rural housing project, to extend the support to the poor man.
Right. So the thing is, the umbrella in which we work is more supporting startups, right? And then the whole area of housing finance is a different segment of work with different, lens with which we evaluate projects and whatnot. If you do have some new idea or a model that you want to test out, definitely do apply, right, to pilot some ideas. But if it is tested and you are very clear on what you want to do, it probably is a different channel you need to look at. But we are, we would be happy to, right, have further conversations with you on that. But this Shelter Tech may not be the platform for that, right? So I just want to lay it out there. You can always write to me and share it, and then I can connect you with the people who work more on the microfinance, financial inclusion sort of areas. Does it sound okay, Nimesh?
Okay, madam, thank you. I'll remember and I'll do prepare ourselves accordingly and we'll write you.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Nilesh still has his hand up, and I think he unmuted temporarily.
Yeah, thank you so much, and we'll go on to everybody. Really, it's an exciting and very a great thing to share the ideas what we have created after very hard work. Now, what the shelter is doing, it's a great thing. I think it has born your idea and our idea. It is quite matching because we have created a hand wash system, which is it is a simply do it yourself. First of all, there is nothing commercial directly involved. That is purely proving itself that it's meant for the social work. Okay, so do it yourself kind of low cost, and you can accommodate in your new housing also, and also in existing also for the lower caste and lower underprivileged peoples. We should not, as far as the COVID learning concerns, we must always focus on the priority for hygiene as per the hygiene concerns, number one. And number two, our products giving the double benefit. The one is the hygiene, number one, and the same product is giving the benefit of water saving. So water saving, hygiene, and the comfortness all together with the low cost, low maintenance, and the long life. It is very, I can easily given chance, I'm having the mail, I will share everything details what the market is offering, the same product with the same features, and what we are offering, it's a sky and the earth, north south difference. We are costing 7,200, whereas you will find the electronic sensor base somewhere 4 to 5 lakhs starting there, lakhs in the lakhs, and any other products in the mechanical side costing 20,000 to 30,000. It is only a 7,200. Somewhere we can go for lower that. So this is the low cost solution for the hygienic facilities in the habitat in lower caste, the underprivileged peoples to whom we are providing only houses. We will add the value happily for the hands hygiene and create a sense, and also together with the water cells. Yeah, thank you, madam.
Yeah, that sounds very much in tune with the times we are in with the COVID and everything. Yeah. I think Wilgrow has shared the link to the application. Please do apply. And I think, on behalf of Wilgrow, I will say that you can apply and tag multiple categories. Shelter Tech may be one, health may be one, water hygiene. Just look through the application and see what makes the most sense for you, so that, if it falls in multiple categories, how you may tackle that question.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Looking forward, madam, positively.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
There's an echo, Sujit. Can you again unmute and ask your question?
Yes, it is. Sujit, you may have a problem with your audio jack. Can you please remove your earphone from the audio jack and try it again?
Meanwhile, if there are any other questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask.
Yes. Madam, that one thing is that, as we all know, that Sundarban is the highly cyclone prone area. But every time, every cyclone, people lost their houses. So therefore, that my question is like that to this forum, particularly in the Meera Madam. So do you have any alternative solutions or the low cost models which is cyclone proof and effective for the Sundarban peoples? If that is available, so we can have some sort of the model and encourage people also in the support through microfinance activities, so that they could they will not lose in future their houses.
Right. I think, why I highlighted roofing was that is one area which we also feel in these coastal areas, right, which are more cyclone prone, and with this climate crisis, there may be more severe weather which may blow up people's roof, and a house is a roof, right? I mean, that's how we also draw the pictures of a house, right? Symbolically, and if that's lost, it's a huge problem. And we do have multiple solutions technologically, right, like material wise and others, and also in how the roof is actually laid on the house, right, how it's anchored to the, I guess, rods or whatever, so that it is able to withstand the high speeds, because there is a bit of just having the best material alone is not the answer, and the skill level is also interesting. And yeah, we are also working with microfinance companies that are interested in this segment, because I guess this is a request that does come up, and they worry that, okay, I give a loan for a roof, or or even a house in a coastal belt, and then it's all lost, right? And then you feel the loan becomes an NPA, right? So we are quite cognizant of this, and definitely do write to me, and we do have some solutions that we can talk to you on, and maybe you can take it to the area where you're working, Sundarbans, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. We'll write you.
Sujit, would you like to go next?
No, it's all right. This is.
Oh, you've joined in from two. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. No worries.
Actually, my sound is not clear, so therefore.
No problem. Any other questions from the participants? Okay, I think, Meera, I think
yeah,
I think your presentation has explained exactly what you're looking at. It's been extremely clear. So hoping that we get a lot of applications for shelter tech.
Yeah. So when you're in doubt, I'm sure people may not be thinking of low income housing as the market they are serving. If it's anything in the housing material, any of that space, if it's in general in prop tech or water sanitation, materials from waste, energy solutions, which has a pathway to the low income households, we are very happy to look at you and evaluate you, because there are only very few that start out with, hey, here's an answer to the low income housing. Usually it sort of comes down to this also applies here. And hence we are, when in doubt, just apply or just write to me and ask me, because we are open and we understand this is a very difficult segment to find entrepreneurs who have the subject matter knowledge and interest to create this impact. So yeah. All the best to all of you, and thank you so much. And thanks, Akshata and Wilgrow, for putting this together.
Thank you so much, Meera. Thank you for taking the time. And to everyone here, thank you so much for joining the session.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
To
apply
Thank
to
you.
iPitch 2021. Best of luck.
Nice meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meera.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Nice time, safe time.
আমি যে বললাম আমার কেসটা কি উত্তর দিলাম
ওই তো দিল বললাম আপনার ডিটেইলস দিন আমরা মাইক্রোফিন্যান্সে তো সাপোর্ট করি না চলে যাবে না